To start off with, I just want to go ahead and apologize for any noise that you might hear. I've got the 3D printer just blazing away there in the background. That thing's been going for about 20 hours straight, and it's got another 10 hours or so to go, so I don't want to interrupt it, and this is the only few minutes I've had to sit down and actually work on making a video, so I just wanted to go ahead and get this done, and figured I would just let it sit there and do its thing, and hopefully it's not too terribly annoying. I don't know how much it'll actually pick up. If it's horrible, then I'll probably just scratch the whole damn thing and you'll never even see this. So, the purpose of this is really just a short update video. If you've been following along on my Element build series, this started off as a Class 2 competition build that I had been wanting to do and had been collecting parts for probably close to a year, and started building it, and then was talking to the wife, and she decided that she wanted to go crawling with me, but she wanted her own truck. And so I said, well, you know, I've got this one that's halfway built. I'll go ahead and finish this one to her liking and build myself something else. I will probably end up building that VS 410 Phoenix back there in the background as my Class 2 rig, or maybe I'll just build it as a trail truck. Hell, I don't know. Remains to be seen. But for right now, we're going to talk about the Bronco, and it is now officially a Bronco. I believe where I had left the last video is that we had not yet chosen a body. We had not yet chosen tires and wheels, because the original tires and wheels that I had bought and built for this chassis, I decided were not appropriate anymore, and they were going to go on whatever Class 2 rig that I decided to build. So this one actually is kind of turning into be more of a Class 1-ish, trail truck. It's not really being built for competition. I highly doubt my wife will be into the comp life at all, so that's really not the purpose of this. However, it's just kind of loosely fits the Class 1 rule set, I would think. Mainly because the tires and wheels that we've chosen are a 4.19 tire, which would be Class 1 legal, and it's got full tire coverage, which as of 2023 I don't even think is a requirement anymore, but you know, if it was, then it would fit. So what we've got here is the Proline 2021 Bronco, the new style Bronco body, and this is a pretty cool body. She really likes the new Broncos, and I had looked at a few different options. I had originally looked at the TRX4 Bronco version. It had its own challenges, one of which was that it was a slightly longer wheelbase. So I would have actually had to stretch the wheelbase on this truck, and I didn't really want to do that. I already had it built up, didn't want to go, you know, buy new links and rebuild the suspension and all that crap. So I wanted something that would stick with the 313 wheelbase that this chassis was built on. So the 2021 Bronco body that Proline recently released does fit that 313 millimeter wheelbase requirement. So that was kind of the easy answer. I don't have any of the hard body Broncos around, don't really want to go looking for them. Kind of wanted to stick with the Lexan body on this one, keep the center of gravity fairly low. So this was actually a great option. I was really happy that Proline came out with this. And one of the things that's really cool about this body is it comes with this whole tub full of scale bits right here. And what you have is, like this for instance, is the rear, I don't know what you want to call it, tail light brace. So basically this is going to go in the rear of the body like so. And it actually comes equipped with these little brackets for taillights, for LED lights. So you can put your little red LED lights, and you can actually put, I think, 3 different lights in here if you wanted to. And I will have to look at an actual Bronco and see what the different lights are. Maybe you put a white reverse light in the middle and red top and bottom. I don't know. I'll be honest, I haven't really even looked at a real Bronco to see how they're laid out. I'll have to do that before I go to installing lights. But you've got that piece that goes in the back there, and this one will not have a spare tire. I'm not really into spare tires. It's just extra weight hanging off the truck. But it does somewhere. I've lost the damn thing, but here it is. it does have this little spare tire bracket if you wanted to run a spare tire that bolts onto this little reinforcement bracket there once it's in the body. But this one actually also comes with this little spare tire delete plate, which is awesome. So we're going to be using that. Comes with all of your fender flares. I don't know which one is. I think this is probably the back one that goes there. So you got the fender flares that are going to be just absolutely perfect with these 4.19 tires. And you as well have your front headlight buckets. So you've got this brace that fits all along the front. It's set up for your headlights. I've already kind of got the grill just sitting there, but you got your nice ABS plastic grill. So you've got a lot of little ABS hard parts. This piece that goes up on the cowl panel there, and you actually have windshield wipers and mirrors that attach to that. And you've got your little limb guard tie down pieces, or whatever Ford calls those things. So I was really digging this body, and it was considerably cheaper than the one on the TRX4. I think I probably would have had a couple $100 in the TRX4 body, and I think this one was like $73 or something. I'd have to go back and look it up. Really reasonable considering you get all these nice hard plastic pieces, and I think it's just a really decently made body. And the plan for it, as far as paint goes, you can see I've already trimmed it out. It does not come trimmed, so it comes like most Lexan bodies do, where you have to actually go and cut out your wheel wells and cut out the skirt around the whole thing and trim it all out. And I pretty much did that with an X-Acto knife, so right now it's kind of a rough trim, so I will probably go back and clean some of that up when it's all said and done. But I got it all trimmed out, got the body posts drilled out and mounted. I was looking for a really cool, invisible mounting solution. Maybe magnets. I use magnets on some of my other trucks. They have their pluses and minuses, and I didn't really want to go that route this time. I was trying to come up with some type of a hidden body pin kind of mounting solution where maybe they would go underneath, up in the front corners or something like that. And I'm just not that bright, so I couldn't come up with anything. So I kind of just said, hell with it, and went with body clips. Now, the way that this is going to be painted, where the body clips are, right in this section here and in the back roof, this is all going to be flat black. This is going to be flat black. And so hopefully they'll sort of disappear and won't just be really obnoxious looking and real visible. I mean, they'll still be there, but hopefully they're going to blend in somewhat. So the main paint scheme for this truck is going to be a bright red. I've got a Tamiya PS something, or I don't remember the number of the paint, but it's a bright red paint. Now, I did say in one of the earlier videos when my wife asked me to build her a truck, one of her requirements was she wanted a Chiefs theme. We're in Kansas City, and she's a huge Chiefs fan. So she wanted her truck to reflect her taste in football teams. So it is going to be bright red. It is going to have a Chiefs Arrowhead logo on the door. It's going to be a 3-color logo. I'm going to use the Cricut machine. The wife has a Cricut machine, so we've already designed a logo that we're going to be cutting out to use as a mask from the inside, because this body will be painted from the inside, like most Lexan bodies. And it will be a 3-color paint mask, so I'll be able to paint the red, peel it back, paint the white, peel it back, paint the black. And when I paint the black, I'm also going to paint this front cowl section black, and I'm going to paint what would be on a real one, the hard top roof section black. And that will end up all being gloss black, but then I'm going to go back over and I'm going to use a matte black Tamiya paint on the outside for the roof and this cowl panel piece. I don't even know what you want to call this piece. I guess a cowl panel. But that'll all be flat black painted on the outside. And so it'll give that nice matte black look. It'll look a lot more realistic than shiny black. But when it does get chipped up or scratched up from the body pins, which of course it will, then there will be black underneath. So it won't be, bright red showing through. If I just painted the whole thing red and then painted this black from the top, when it got scratched, you'd have red stripes everywhere, and it wouldn't look very good. So it is going to be painted black from the inside and then black on the outside. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I still got a little bit more masking to do. I've got to, you know, mask off the Chiefs logos, mask all the roof and the cowl panel, not good stuff. I'm going to do a little bit more masking on the tail lights and headlights, because there's a couple places where the masks that they provide don't quite give full coverage, which really doesn't matter, because also one of the things that this body comes with is, if I can find it, here we go, is this cool sticker sheet. So basically, where is it? Right here. So here you got these tail light stickers, and they'll actually go on the outside of the body here. I originally thought about, you know, just painting these red, but honestly, I think I just want to go ahead and use these. I'm going to mask that off, obviously, so it's clear, but I'm going to go ahead and put these on the outside and then just let the LEDs shine through the stickers, and I think it's going to look just fine. I don't know, maybe if I don't care for it, maybe down the road I'll take this and just, you know, paint it like a translucent red or something. And, you know, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Remains to be seen. I think it'll look just fine with the stickers, so that's probably how we'll roll with it. But along with that, they do include, you know, obviously everything you need for headlights and tail lights and marker lights, that type of thing. But it also does include all the different trim levels of the new Broncos right here, so you can make it a was it a Badland edition, I think is what they are. Yeah, Badland, Outer Banks, I can't even read the last one, First Edition, Black Diamond. So there's several options. You can pretty much make it whatever trim level you want. I think I'll have to do a little research. I kind of want to roll with the Badlands trim level, but I'll be honest, I don't even know what a Badlands looks like. I kind of feel that it has a soft top, and if that's the case, then that might not be the appropriate trim level, but I'll have to do some research on that. I honestly, I don't know shit about new Broncos. They're not really my thing. I'm a Jeep guy, so it is what it is. I'll have to figure that out and see what I need to do to make it most scale appropriate. And that's one thing that's really important in this build. I mean, it should perform very well because this chassis was originally being built as a well-performing comp chassis. So, I mean, it should perform good, but it is going to be as scale as you can probably get with a Lexan body, hopefully. And one of the things that I did to work towards that goal was in the wheel and tire choice. And I'll show you what this is here. What we ended up with was a set of these TREAL, I don't know how you say it, I think it's TREAL. But these are just a 1.9 inch aluminum beadlock, and I don't even know if they have an actual name. Yeah, Type H, so I don't know. TREAL Type H in copper. I had kind of been wanting to try out. They've got some pretty cool aluminum wheels that they make nowadays, this company, and I've kind of been wanting to try some out for a while, and this was a pretty good opportunity to do that. So one nice thing about these wheels is they got a pretty good amount of weight to them. I'm one to say off the top of my head without looking up the specs, I think they're like 78 grams a piece, and you can feel, you just pick up the box and they're pretty weighty. I think they're slightly heavier than the SSD steel wheels that I like to use. I do like a fairly heavy wheel in most cases, especially on a small tire truck. I think you know, a heavier wheel helps the smaller tires dig in a little bit better, you know, because you tend to be dragging the belly a little bit more. I think traction's slightly more important than, you know, when you have huge tires on, you know, lighter wheels. I don't think the wheel weights is important when the tires are bigger. But anyhow, so went with those TREAL wheels in copper. Kind of figured those would look pretty good with the red paint that's going to be on this truck. And the tire choice is actually these new, I don't know when they came out, but it was real recently, I believe. And these are a nice scale Falken Wildpeak RT from Vanquish. And these are in what Vanquish calls the red, I don't know if you see that, the red compound. And the red compound is their like super sticky soft compound. And I'll be honest, I've not run any Vanquish tires before, and I really wasn't expecting a whole lot as far as, you know, when it said soft compound. I'm like, you know, I doubt it's going to be all that soft. I really like the Proline Predator compound, and there's, what is it, Rock Beast, I believe, Alien compound, I think I'm running on one of my trucks. But I really do like the softer compound tires for most things. And like I said, I really wasn't expecting these to be this soft, but honestly, these are probably about the stickiest tires I think I've ever felt. Now, it remains to be seen if they will stay sticky once you get out there and, you know, get them dirty and all that. But right now, you set this thing down on the bench, you pick it up, and you can hear it, you know, stick to the bench. It almost wants to bring the mat with it. So they're good sticky tires, and they are pretty scale appropriate. It comes with this little cardboard like you would see if you went into the tire store and they had these things on display. A little cardboard insert, kind of cool. Don't know what I'll do with it, but I'm kind of gonna probably hold on to those, and I don't know, maybe I'll have a place in a scale garage if I ever build one day. But yeah, the Falken Wildpeak scale tires, and try to get you a closer look at those tires out of the bag. And they are a really good looking tire, good looking tread. I think Vanquish did an awesome job on these. Probably not the last ones I will buy. But the only dig I would have on them, if it were anything, is the fact that it's got this little Vanquish logo right here. And I mean, it's not a deal breaker by any means, but as scale tires go, I would prefer it not necessarily have the scale manufacturer's logo on them. I would prefer that it just said, you know, Falken Wildpeak. But that's a minor thing. And for foams, I tend to just kind of stick with what has always worked for me, and that tends to be Crawler Innovations. So what we've got is this CWR 2092, and that is the 4.19 tire foam, and this is a medium outer, and this is going to be our front tires. And then the same thing, I think it's a 20, I don't know, 91 or 93. I threw away the package for the rears. Obviously I already built the rears up, as you can see. So but whatever the number is, they are the exact same foam but a firm outer. I prefer a firm tire in the back and a slightly softer tire in the front. And I actually probably could have done a soft in the front, but I kind of figured that, again, with the smaller tire, the sticky compound, I've got a medium in the front of my SCX-10-2 with a 4.19 sticky tire, and it works really well. So I kind of figured I would just stick with what works. Now this truck is going to be a little bit lighter than my 10-2, so we'll see. If it doesn't work that well, then I might swap it out for a soft foam and try to tutor it a little bit closer. But I think it'll actually work really well. This truck is about 5 pounds 8 ounces with battery at this point, so it is a fairly light truck, and about the only thing that's not on it at the moment that will be on it is the back bumper. Actually, I guess I didn't really take into account these things. I didn't weigh these. They don't weigh that much, but they will add a little bit of weight. Let's just call it a 5.5 pound truck when it's all said and done. It actually might be just a little south of that, but for argument's sake, we'll just go with that. But as far as bumper goes, one thing that I have not figured out is how I'm going to mount a bumper. I don't know if you can see, but the bumper bracket that came with this kit is completely devoid of any kind of mounting holes. So if you had something like this Element Trail Walker bumper, or actually it's not a Trail Walker, it's a night walk. I can't remember what the hell it's called. The Tacoma that they make, the Knight's Custom Tacoma. So that's what this is for. This is way too long for this, even if it did fit. But there would be no good way to mount it to that chassis. I would actually have to come up with some kind of a a custom mounting bracket. Now looking at that, actually it doesn't look horrible. Who knows, I might try to figure something out. But no, what I'll probably end up doing is fabricating some kind of a little metal tube bumper, something pretty simple. I don't like to get too crazy when it comes to back bumpers. I like to keep them, you know, nice and minimal to help with the approach angle or departure angle, I guess, on the back. But so yeah, I'll have to figure out some way to fab a bumper, and I'll probably mount it to the sides of the frame here. And as far as the front bumper, I don't think I had this done on the last video. If I did, I apologize. I haven't gone back and watched the video, so I don't know where I left it off. But what I've got here is, again, this is off the Knight's Custom Tacoma Element Night Runner. And what I did, it was actually way too wide for this body. So and actually it was kind of way too wide for almost any body I probably would have ended up running. I don't like super wide front bumpers. So what I did is I actually just lapped the ends off. I mean, it stuck out, and it wrapped around. It would have wrapped around this body a whole lot, but it was about that long. I mean, it came out pretty wide. So I cut the ends off. It did have this little reinforcing piece inside there, so where I cut it, it ended up being flat. I'll just have to smooth that out a little bit. I'll sand it down and, you know, make it a little more finished. But I did install it's a Reefs RC fair lead and a set of little plastic E-rings that I don't know what the hell they came off of. They probably came off of my Venture when it was an RTR, I don't know. A couple little lights I got off of Amazon, and these were originally bought as a set of ditch lights for my SCX 10.2 Jeep body, and I was kind of mocking them up, and I just wasn't really feeling the look of them. They kind of ended up being a little bit bigger than I thought they were going to be from the pictures, and I wasn't feeling it, so I thought they would actually make a really good set of driving lights, which they do. Each one of them has 2 LEDs, so they're fairly bright. I've got yellow LEDs in the corner here, and although they look yellow, and I don't know what color they're going to look in the camera, but in person they look yellow, but those things actually light up pretty much bright orange. They're actually super cool looking. I don't know that I've ever seen an LED light up that color. I'm not sure if it's something I did, because when I first fired them up, I put power to it. They went bright yellow and then immediately went orange and stayed that way. So I kind of feel that I overvolted them and burnt something, and now they're custom. So that's the deal with that. And so far I'm kind of liking the look of that bumper. I think it goes pretty well with this truck. It doesn't stick out horribly far. It's about as tucked in as it can really get. I might try to do a little bit of work to it and tuck it in slightly more. I might be able to get, another 1/4 inch out of it. It would pretty much be touching the body, and I'm not really sure if it's necessary. I generally like to tuck the bumpers in as close as I can get, because again, I like that approach angle, especially when you're running a smaller tire. It becomes super important, but I don't know how important it's going to be on this. I'm not sure that 1/4 inch would really make any measurable difference. Again, remains to be seen. This is all kind of a work in progress. So, what else have I done? I did get the winch. I think last time I left it, I probably also had this winch spool on order, and I don't know if I can get in there and show it, but that is a low profile winch spool. It's a Reefs piece. It's clearly not going to focus on it, but yeah, so there's a Reefs low profile winch spool in there, because the one that I had in there to begin with that came with this winch would actually hit the suspension when it compressed right there. It would hit the rear end, or the front differential. And so I got this Reefs one. Now it clears, everything's golden. Again, when I ordered that, I ordered the Reefs fair lead, got that all mounted. I lost the hook. I have a nice scale, like a worn hook for this, and I've got it somewhere. It's in a box for safekeeping, and it's so safe that I can't find the damn thing. So once I find that hook, I'll get that installed in there. And I've got a light controller that controls all these bumper lights. and I will probably have a second light controller that will control the lights on the body itself. I thought about putting them all just on one controller, but I think it would be cooler if they could be controlled independently. And this has a 6-channel receiver in it currently. It's got a radio that's capable of 8 channels, and I have 8-channel receivers laying around if I needed to go that route. But at the moment, all we got is steering, throttle, winch, and if we have 2 lights, we're at 5 channels. And I don't really foresee adding anything else to this chassis that would require another radio channel. So that 6-channel will probably stay in there, and if we did decide to add a light bar or something silly, then we do actually still have one open channel for that. But again, I don't really foresee that happening. So yeah, I think that's about it. Hopefully the next time that you see this, it will be all painted and nearing completion. I'm probably going to go ahead and finish building the wheels and tires tonight. I'm not going to do that on camera. I've built wheels and tires on camera before, and I don't necessarily know that it's anything anybody else doesn't necessarily know how to do. These particular wheels and tires, like I said, I've already built the back ones because I just kind of wanted to know how they went together, because some tires are a total pain in the ass. Wheel and tire combinations just don't play nice together. Some go together like butter. These were somewhere in between. They actually went together real easy, but these tires were so sticky that you had to do a lot of tugging and pulling as you were tightening things down. Tug, pull, tighten, to get everything to where it would line up around here and wouldn't be all out of round and goofball. But other than that, these go together super easy. There's just 6 bolts in the back. It's a 3-piece wheel, so you got the ring that goes inside the tire, and then your 2 pieces of the wheel that's sandwiched together. 6 bolts, so it's super easy to put together. And another thing I just realized I didn't mention, if you can see that, I did use the SSD scale lug nuts that I like to use. Went with black. We tried black and chrome, and the wife really liked the look of the black. We thought it looked a little more modern, so that's what we went with. So going to have the black scale lug nuts. Don't know if I'm going to do any kind of scale hubs. I kind of want to, but I don't think that 1-ton hubs would necessarily look appropriate on this, because it's kind of meant to look like a somewhat street-driven factory 2021-ish Bronco. So I might look around and see if there's some kind of hub I can come up with that'll cover this up but not look like it's got 1-ton axles on it. So that's not really the look we're going for on this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't really think of anything else I'm missing. If I do, then I'll cover it in the next segment. But I think I said originally that I was going to lose these sliders, and I do wish they were a little bit longer, but they actually fit this body pretty well. And I didn't have to trim the body or anything, and they're exactly the right length, this or depth. I guess the body slides down in them and it holds the sides of the body. So I think we're going to roll with those for right now, and maybe later on down the line, if I can find some longer sliders that are more appropriate, we can always swap those out. But I think they're going to work pretty well, so we're going to leave those for the moment. And other than that, I don't see a lot changing, other than I will probably eventually put a Three Brothers servo winch in that has a built-in controller. The winch that's in this truck currently requires a separate controller. So if you look right here, which I'm sure I went over this in the last video, but one of these are actually Hobbywing 1060 controllers. And one of these 1060s is the actual ESC, and the second one is the winch controller. And basically I modify the connectors and use these as a winch controller. I've done this in a couple other rigs, and they will absolutely last forever. You will never burn one out. They're waterproof. However, they're kind of big. They add a little bit of weight, and you gotta find a way to package them. So nowadays, a lot of winches, or servo winches anyhow, come with the controllers built in, which the ones that I use, the Three Brothers Overlander winch, does that, and they work really well. And you know, you get that one extra component that you don't have to have in there. So I will probably eventually swap that out. I will actually probably get rid of both of those and use a Hobbywing 1080, and I'll probably go with a 5-slot motor at some point. Probably a Team Brewed 16 turn. There's one that I use in one of my other trucks that I really like, and with that 1080, it's actually a really great combo for, you know, a somewhat budget-friendly brushed motor combo that's got real smooth low end and just works really good. So I'll probably end up eventually swapping that out. For now, it's just got the axial 35 turn takeoff out of an SCX 10.2, and yeah, that's probably about it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop it there, and hopefully, again, next time that I make one of these videos, you'll be seeing pretty much a finished truck, and we'll see what this bad boy looks like when I get the body all painted up, all the accessories on, and you know, I think it's going to look pretty good. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight. Thank you once again for coming by and watching my videos, and hope to see you out on the trail.